Hey, good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. And I don't know why I put the timer on. I don't even know why I set a time because I always don't follow it. Let me verify sound real quick. Morning, everybody. All right, sound is sounding good. Hey, folks, I hope y'all are doing well. AJ, the CEO. And no, I have not updated this yet. Been too busy with Addict Ministry. I know I said originally I wasn't going to do anything, but I could not stay in bed. So that's why we's here. Plus, I miss talking with y'all, folks. Thank y'all so much for joining me. If you don't mind, if you please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss out when we have drop new videos and all this other fun stuff. Let's go ahead and get some shout outs to everybody here. Anthony, what's going on? Man, he is doing some big things where he's at. Man, look, if y'all like food, hold on, let me bring this dude up. If y'all like food, please don't follow this guy on Facebook. Man, this dude be cooking up all types of stuff, just make you hungry. And I'm like, I can't get to none of this food. So Anthony, I'm gonna have to unfriend you because I hate seeing all this new food that you be posting on Facebook. I got new glasses, folks, so I'm kind of off right now. For those who wear glasses, when you get a new set of glasses, it makes you see weird. So I'm off. Like, I was reaching for stuff and my depth perception was off by a little bit. So yeah. And it looks like these show a whole lot more reflection than anything else. But Anthony, you're doing some good stuff, man. Enoch, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Scott, what is going on, sir? Daniel was saying he was going to sleep, but thank you for stopping by. Hello. Norm, what is going on? And I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but Skya Alchemist? Hey, what's going on? Pat, hey. Hello, Pat. Mike, what is going on with you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Mike, let me know if travel and all this other stuff has freed up there in Canada. I'm looking at making some trips. One of my trips got canceled or rescheduled, trying to figure out where it's going to be. So I may have some openings, but hey, if Canada's still kind of taxing with everything going on, I obviously won't be able to come up there. But let me know. Brian Jones, what is going on? Parker, hello, sir. How you doing? Coach, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Mr. Jimmy, hello. Streets of Destiny out in Phoenix, Arizona. How you doing? William from Greensboro, North Carolina. What's going on? The Grazy 1998. Well, I'm going to do some shout outs and start doing questions at the same time. Hi, AJ from an Italian church. Better SDI or HDMI? For my last couple of adventures, I'm leaning back towards SDI. But I did a recording just now of the equipment. And like I said, when I turn my head, it's like if I'm not looking straight down the center of these glasses, looking to the side or whatever, just messes me up. But the fiber HDMI cables have been treating me well. It all depends on the run. If I have any more issues, I will go back to doing SDI cables. SDI cables are rated for 300 feet. Very solid. The only thing is it costs because you have to have a converter on both sides to convert back if you're not going purely SDI. But it does work great. It just has a cost because the converters I use, it seems like everybody's getting hit. These things used to be $55. Now they've jumped up to $65. So that's $130 for one run, which is not really cool when you could get a $130 for that same distance in a fiber HDMI cable. That's the reason why I've switched, but it all depends. Let me know what's the distance that you're going for. Norm, what's going on? Northern Illinois, not Chicago. Awesome. Keith, Good morning. Good morning. Steven from New Jersey. Hey, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Um, Norm, you got it. I said exactly the same thing. I mean, I just tested this with two 100 foots, and my studio camera is running off of a fiber cable as well too, and I don't have any issue with it. And I haven't had any issue with any of the installs with these fiber cables. It was just yesterday, so I don't know. Again, normally because of the layout of the church, I normally I see and I don't pull a cable blindly there, but it was just weird. I couldn't get there, so I don't know. Like I was telling Jerry, honestly, what I would like to do, and this is why I have about 3 churches that are building brand new churches that I'm supposed to be doing some installs with. That's going to be beautiful, because if I had my way, what I would do is and this is the same thing I ask when I'm looking at buying a house. When they ask for additions, I ask for a 5-inch diameter PVC pipe going from the first floor all the way up to the attic. And everybody's like, what? But if I had it to do for a church that's being built, I would run conduit everywhere and make the tubes, the conduit, so big that I could run my cables there everywhere, run nylon pull strings everywhere, and then I wouldn't hit anything, and it would be easy to pull. But like like I said, I don't want to go purely SDI because it adds significant to the cost if you're still using the A10 Mini Extreme, because you got to convert HDMI back. But we'll see. Mr. Clarence, hey, good morning. Daniel was saying, how do you fix the A10 Mini to OBS shows flicker? Honestly, a bunch of people have had that. Check your USB cable. Every time we've seen that, that's been an issue. If you change out the HDMI cable, where's the ones I have? There's a brand, an Anchor brand that I've been using, and once I get a product that works very well, I rarely jump over to other stuff. So all of my USB cables are these red bendable Anchor cables, and they have been rock solid for me, because I've jumped through a bunch of cables that gave me issues as well too. If you change over to a good USB-C cable, you're still experiencing it, what I would do is disconnect the HDMI or whatever connection you have from your camera to the ATEM, connect it to a monitor. Do you still see it there? If you don't see the flicker there, it's something with the connection from the ATEM to the computer. I would verify that first before we can go down a rabbit hole of seeing what else it could be. Back to Anthony. So the fiber optic HDMI is better than regular. Yes, regular HDMI, Anthony, can only go 20 feet without the signal being degraded. The fiber optic one can go much longer. The longest I've tested has been 200 feet, but supposedly it can go 300. I have not tested that. Zion Baptist is the first time I've had issues with it. And honestly, I was going to say, I think it's the cable, because when I connected it directly to the ATEM output, it worked, but then it started flickering again. So I'm thinking I must have nicked or did something when I was pulling the cables, or when I looked in the ceiling, I didn't even show y'all. I showed y'all a part where I was above the attic, where all that cable was thrown together. And it was intertwined in Romex and all this other stuff, which you do not do. You don't do that. But that's how those cables were in the ceiling above the sanctuary. So I don't know. It could be interference. It could have been anything, but I don't know. But for long runs, longer than 20 feet, go with that. Unless you get one of these expensive fiber HDMI cables, which is the old school one that I just ordered to replace the ones that are in Zion Baptist. They have a booster and everything inside the cable, and yeah. But we'll see how those goes. Mike is saying the travel is open with vaccination and testing required. Okay, not a problem. I'm cool with that. Mr. Clarence, AJ, I bought the Ryzen 7 5800X to build a computer. To my surprise, it did not include a cooler. Any recommendations on cooling fans? Yeah, once you get to those higher ones, like my Ryzen 9 didn't come with one. They highly recommend water cooling for those. I have actually water cooling on all of my systems here. I have used the NZXT. What is the name of this thing? Hold on. In this system, which used to be in this one, I have the NZXT Kraken X52 water cooling block here. There's a couple of ones that they have rated for those. I have the Corsair in my main system right now. It's a 2-fan system, and that's a Ryzen 9 3900X. That's what I have in that one. So that's what I would suggest. A good water cooling one that's compatible with an AM4 socket, you should be good to go. Brian, question about the last video on the attic ministry. What was the proximity between the fiber cables and the power lines? Perhaps. Thank you. You said the exact same thing I just said. They had all those cables wound up, and honestly, I try to keep the prices down when I do stuff like this, but because of that ceiling, I overestimated what my ladder at a full extension can do. I mean, I could have gotten up there, but just like in my chapel, I would have had to unbolt all of the pews and slide them over 3 feet just for me to get up there, which would have taken significantly longer. But yes, I think that might have been a problem because that's not ideal. And you don't run cables like that with power lines. You don't do it. You run it perpendicular. You don't run them parallel to each other. So parallel when they're right beside each other, perpendicular like that. All right. That's what I'm thinking the issue is, but you just got to remove that stuff out of the way. And then, especially if I had them in a conduit, maybe that would help as well too. And honestly, I would have rather not ran it that way, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. No one want to know. I wonder if the cold affected the HDMI in the attic. No, in the attic part, I hadn't even gotten the fiber optic cables there. This was just in the ceiling right above the sanctuary, and it was very well heated in there. Rodney, good morning, AJ and Media Ministry Warriors. What is the best way to have a separate output for stream and sanctuary? Well, what do you mean by stream? Are you talking about you want to actually see something else, kind of like how I have my stuff here, to where you would just have another monitor here? What do you mean by a second stream? So I make sure I get the statement right, and my remote is not working. I normally use Microsoft's without Beyond Borders so that I can use the keyboard and mouse and just slide over and control the screen, but for whatever reason, it's not working. But yeah, let me know what exactly do you mean by a separate stream and for the sanctuary, and then I'll circle back and answer that one. Oh, we actually already said it. He said using OBS. It's a couple of things you could do. So if I cut back over here, so right now in OBS, not OBS, I'm using vMix. Actually, let me go back to my desktop because I do have this plugged in on my desktop. All right, so here, if I open up OBS, make sure I'm on the right screen when I open this up. All right, so right now you're seeing itself loop over. Now, if you wanted to see something and you're using OBS, you could have your computer or whatever display connected to the computer running OBS, and then you can right click on the screen and do a full screen projector, and then it will project full screen here, and you're seeing it crazy because it's looping on itself. So I need to do something different. So let's switch to this. If I do a full screen projector here, and just imagine if this was connected to TVs, projectors, a splitter, whatever, this is what they would see. And that will give you the full screen. But ideally, you want to have two displays so that you can always still see OBS. And this will just be projected out. We did this at First Baptist Church of South Lynchburg. This is how they're displaying everything. Their computer has 3 outputs, 2 outputs for their monitors locally. The third goes to a STI splitter, which goes to their TVs. And they just project full screen on output number 3, which goes to all the TVs. And that's a way that will work. So hopefully that makes sense for you. And let's not close OBS because we might need it. And where is my screen so I can see y'all's comments? Anthony, which brand of fiber optic cable would you recommend? Honestly, I've been using the iBirdie one the entire time. I have jumped to some other brands, but mainly the iBirdie. I've been going with those because I can get them in one day. I don't know if they just have a stockpile of them because there's an Amazon distribution center in Chester, which is about 25 minutes away from me. So I can always get them in a day. But honestly, most of these are made exactly the same, and then they just get a different brand on them. Let me give y'all a hint. Honestly, what I really want to do from a business standpoint is, because a lot of these stuff are exactly the same, I want to have a bunch of this stuff and it's just branded in my company. So I'm using the same thing. That's future stuff that I want to do, but maybe I'm giving too much away. Pat, looking for a video controller for the Famaco 20X. The video controller that comes with it does not have an Ethernet port. Okay, well, I've done a bunch of those. You're looking for one that can talk on VIF or Visca over IP. And I've done a bunch of them. The Left Tech is one that's worked. I like that. Where's the one I just recently used? I need a browser that I can open. Let me show you the ones that I've used. It don't matter. I wasn't going to show y'all my purchase history, but I'm like, not like I got anything to hide. Controller. This one right here. This one has been very good, and it gives you direct access. This is the one that actually was installed at Cornerstone, and we did that, and that was actually where this was ordered. And I really like this one. It gives you the screen to show, a bigger screen to show you to all the details and everything like that, and you have 7 quick access buttons to do that. So I would check that out. That should work well for you as well. I will put a link to this exact one in the chat. That's the left, if I can spell right, Left Tech PTZ controller, and that is IP based. Alrighty, cool. I think also I didn't mention it, folks. If I don't get to your question, always hit me up, and I am going to take a second to talk through some questions that I got on here as well too, so that y'all don't feel left out, because I know I've been really busy. But you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond to you, or if you just happen to be, I might be able to just read them here on my Q&A. And also, make sure you join the Facebook group where it's Q&A 24/7 with people, other media ministries all over the world. And I'm not going to put nobody on blast. If y'all were on the Facebook group, you saw my recent post and my response to somebody who was live streaming in the group. I was like, what are you doing? And then they got blocked. We try to make it conducive so we can learn up in here, folks. But let me bring up my email, and I'm going to go through that as well too. Close. And we got a bunch of questions. I see Streets of Destiny. I see a question in there too, so we'll go to that. Paul, what's going on from Malaysia? Good morning, Ms. Jackie. And there's my email going off. Let's mute that. Back to Rodney. I want the sanctuary to only have the video feed and the stream to have lower thirds and other text. Okay, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. And if you're doing that all in OBS, honestly, this is where I would recommend, if you possibly could, upgrade to vMix, because vMix will allow you to actually do something like that. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I have a screen right here in front of me, and I don't know if you can see it. Let me switch back to that camera. So I don't know if you can see, but I have this little screen right here that shows me everything that's going on. But when I have text, I can't read it. That's why I have NDI open. But this little screen is coming from vMix, which is outputting a clean view of whatever. So normally I could do just questions on here, whatever. So that's the only thing that I can see. But at the same time, y'all are seeing the live stream mix that, and I can't get out the way so you can see it. Oh, I just pointed this. The live mix is going to output from my computer down here, is also going to my web presenter, which is what y'all are seeing. So I can show completely different things. One output can be full, one output can be just one input, so just the cameras or whatever like that. So vMix will allow you to do that easily. OBS, you could probably do it, but it will be a lot of jumps to do that, and I don't think OBS will allow you to see only one scene full output, unless I'm mistaken. Enoch, yeah, everybody said that. There is a link in the description to the download of this wallpaper already. Daniel wants to know, do older churches often change to digital mixers? A few have, because it opens up a lot more possibilities. A lot of folks are still using their old mixer, which is nothing the matter with it. But going into switching, like for me, I want my church to move to a digital mixer just because we have limited amount of people and we're not audio engineers. But if I'm playing, I know what I need to hear in sound, and I can easily adjust everything from the iPad. That's one reason why I want to do it. And some of the stuff that we had, it's just cheaper when I want to do personal mixers for the musicians, so I can get all the amps and everything off the stage that we've been trying to do for the last 11 years. But people need to hear, they need to feel themselves. I'm like, dude, if you can feel yourself playing, you're too loud. Like, I'm of the mindset, let's get you a personal mixer. You can have headphones and blow your eardrums out if that's what you want to do, but just doesn't affect everybody else. But I've seen a few. I've done a few installs like that, but some, they stick with it. And there's really no, I mean, I'm one of the ones, if there's no reason to move to it, as in, hey, I want the enhancements of this, hey, keep using the stuff. There's nothing the matter with that. It's only when you realize we've reached a limit and you want to go further, that's when I recommend you upgrading, or you just got cash to blow and it's for your media ministry. Then yes, upgrade then. And I couldn't even read who this was. RCC Gofin. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hey, AJ, I've learned a lot from your page, and we have used most things for our live stream. Well, awesome. I'm glad I have been of help. Let's see. I have an ATEM Mini. Why does it feel like it's something on my glasses? I have an ATEM Mini Pro, and am I able to do multi-view and signal to TVs on the church? If so, how? No, you cannot. If you're using the HDMI out, no, you cannot use both. You can use one or the other. That's the reason why I've been recommending the ATEM Mini Extreme once it's been available for churches to do that. Now, you could use the HDMI out for the ATEM Mini Pro and give you the multi-view for you to see, then have the USB out. Well, it's a couple ways. You could use the ATEM. If you're not live streaming with the ATEM Mini Pro, you can stream to the streaming bridge, Or you can make one like with the Raspberry Pi that I had around here somewhere that I did kind of at Spring Creek. You can stream to that, and then that could send a signal to your TVs. There may be a little bit of latency, not that much if you're using the streaming bridge. Now, the other way, if you didn't want to pay for anything, as long as the computer is fast enough, you can have the USB out from the ATEM go into OBS. And just like I just did with the full screen projector, you can run it into OBS, connect that computer to your screens, and then do a full screen, and then people can see that way. There's a bunch of hops, so you just got to be careful of the latency. But that's what you would do. If not, honestly, the ATEM Mini Extreme is the best bet if those two are not an option. Rhonda, good morning. Good morning. Ray L, good morning. Anthony, thanks for that. The cost of the fiber optic is not bad. I think I've been using that versus the regular ones. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it's over 30, over 25, 20 feet, I normally go with that. Because from a cost standpoint, this is, I mean, I just did a video that y'all haven't seen yet. I think I might just release it to the members, YouTube members, because it was just really raw. It was just me setting this stuff up for Ashbury United Methodist, testing and verifying with the HDMI cables again. That was the first time I ever had any issues. But, I mean, from when I was doing software and all this other stuff, there is a certain level of failure that most of the time products try and stay under like 2%. So it's a chance that you might get something. So maybe that's what I came into. But I mean, I like to be transparent so y'all can see that if I don't want y'all to ever get, man, AJ stuff just works 100% of the time. No, it doesn't. Back to Pat, I was trying to remember. And the connector is Ethernet. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So if I come back over here so you can see. Make sure I don't spill my cup. If I come back over here and where's the back? Yep, there it is, the back interface. And we are connected over RJ45 or Ethernet. That's how we're connecting to the camera. All right. So you're good to go. That's exactly how we had it set up at Cornerstone Baptist Church. It was connected to all of the cameras, and with the Famacos, you might have to make a change in the protocol, but I mean, that's really straightforward. Back to Daniel. Need a HD Blackmagic splitter for HD from other size, then need a high splitter to 3 TVs. Huh? Need a HD Blackmagic splitter for HD from other side, then move. So are you saying you need a scaler? Let me know. Make sure I'm not reading your comment wrong. Rabbi here. Anyone using the Sennheiser XSWE835 just bought one, and when the speaker is moving, there is this hiss sound that comes out of the speaker. Any idea? I have not used that. So, hey, community, there's a question for you. Make sure you're on the Facebook group. You can add that. I'm sure somebody is using that as well, too. Pat, what camera would you recommend for video recording and streaming, both functions? Well, it all depends. Are you using this for church in a service, or this is kind of a one-off? Because, I mean, I started everything originally with this Sony camcorder right here. That's a 4K Sony camcorder. That was my first upgrade when I went from a Logitech webcam. That has been great. I've been using that for football games, everything like that. And that works excellent. And it can be connected, obviously, right now for live streaming, and it can record. and works really great. I just need to know the actual, what's the initial plan of where this is going to be placed. Is this going to be at home? Because, I mean, there's other options as well. And my camera's over there. I can't get to it. I'll grab it here in a second. I try not to move that much because of, I told you, my glasses. Every time when I don't look dead center on my glasses, it makes me feel a little dizzy. I've only had the glasses for not even 24 hours. So now, if you were using something stationary, like this is what I've been using now with my vlog when I actually have a hand for it. This is the Sony, and I always mix this up. This is the new one, the Sony EV-ZV-Z10, whatever it's called. EV-Z10, I believe it is. Good gosh, why does it look like that text is so small? But anyway, I use this, and I can hook this up. This is what I was using when I was doing the roundtable when I was in Chicago, when I live streamed with that. And then this is what I use for video. Great image quality. It does have interchangeable lenses and everything like that. If you're trying to do something at home in a small studio, excuse me, for a little while, I was using this before I started getting back to using my pocket cinema camera again. But need to know just a few details on how you plan on using it in the environment that you're going to be using it. Joe, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I would say it was a bad cable, but I went through 4 of them and it gave me the exact same issue. So I don't know. Chris, you could do a bunch of things. I mean, you can repurpose it, bless another ministry with it, use it for a secondary studio just for recording, a podcast. I mean, it's a bunch of things you could do with it. Most thing, I would say pass it on. If y'all are not going to use it, just don't sell it. Try and bless another ministry with it. That's me. Let me go one back. Chris has another comment. AJ, in a different group, the audio engineers have a competition in how loud they can go with their house mix at their church. No. WK Digital Designs. We just purchased a new Dell PC, but it has an Intel HD 750 for graphics. Do I need to swap out for an NVIDIA? Well, what do you plan on using it for? The Intel HD 750 is good for having a monitor and having display out for a monitor. If you're trying to do anything 3D related, no. I would say probably yes. At bare minimum, go with a GTX 1650. You can still probably get those reasonably for around like $250 to $300. Everything else is massively overpriced. Augustine, what's going on? Hey, I try so that I don't get, I mean, it's already going to be surprises when I get there, when I get in the attic and stuff like that. I want to make a surprise with my equipment, not one. So, Rhonda, these snow forecasts are interfering with my pre-recording schedule. Hey, that's what messed up my trip down to North Carolina. I had to reschedule that as well. And then Rhonda's also saying, thanks for the Vinci Resolve video and the post-production after church video. Hey, you're welcome. I used to always do that. I'm probably going to get back into doing those. Oh, which reminds me, it's Sunday. So we have a roundtable coming up this Sunday. I'm trying to get into it as long as I have the bandwidth and the mental fortitude to do it. We're going to do roundtables every other week. So that's one coming up this Sunday, but then every other week we'll do church post-production. You never know. It might be a day I can do both at the same time, but with all this noise and all this other stuff right here, probably not, but we'll work on that. Back to Jackie. I want to have a portable live streaming setup so my pastor can stream from different places, his office, church lobby. Do you have any suggestions on how you can achieve this other than the YOLO box? Honestly, I mean, the A10 Mini Pro would be good for that. That Sony camera I just showed will be a great camera for that type of setup because it's portable. You can put all of that in a duffel bag, kind of like when I go on trips. That's what I take with me. I have the YOLO box, and I need to do a review of that recent update that they've done because that's a good piece of hardware as well too to do. I took it with me on one trip, and then what was it? TSA didn't like it being in my bag, so. That's why I ended up getting TSA pre-check, so I ain't got to keep taking all this stuff out of my bag. But yeah, I think that would be a good. The YOLO box with that Sony camera would be a perfect setup because I mean both of those things can fit in there, and then also get yourself a wireless keyboard. It makes typing in everything a lot easier. I think that would be a great setup. Back to Pat's. This is for personal use to record my son's tracks, meets, and also when I start doing blogging and stuff. Honestly, I would start with that camcorder. Because if you're going to be doing track meets and stuff like that, this camera is great, but it's not really, I mean, even though this Sony camera and the original ZV-1 was made for vloggers, long form content, I would not recommend. And if you're trying to do track meets, you're not going to get nowhere close to the zoom that you could from a camcorder. I like the 4K Sony camcorder. The Panasonic one is a good one as well too. And then you can just have a clean HDMI out and plug that into whatever capture device that you got, ATEM, YOLO box, the Roland HD, not the Aerocast that uses the app, but that would work great for that, especially the content, since you said it's for you personal as well as for doing your son stuff. That would be better than a DSLR or any of those cameras. Bob Pell, let's see. How are you feeling about the fiber HDMI cable? Saw the video where you were having problems. I am working on a system now and wondering if SDI with converters is the way to go, but I would rather go HDMI. Honestly, this is the first time I've had this many issues with, the first time I've ever had any issues with these cables, ever. So that's what threw me off. The last 9 installs I've done have been with these cables without any issue anywhere close. I'm really thinking it's interference that's causing the issue. But again, if I go this next install and the next 2 installs and have similar issues, I will possibly go back to SDI or switch over to another brand of HDMI cable. Otis, what's going on? I'm supposed to be in Texas, y'all, on February 11th and 12th. We're going to be down there at Morehouse Church, Moreover Church, excuse me. Morehouse, no, Hampton, yay. Anyway, we're going to be over to Moreover Church. I built a system for them, and then they're in a kind of a rented space, and they were having some questions about hooking up some stuff. So honestly, it was just cheaper for me to come down there. I'm going to be down there for just a day and a half. Got my camera buddy from college. She's going to be coming down with me. She got some stuff to do down there, and our schedules mixed, so we're going to be heading down there at the same time. Going to be down there Friday morning. I believe the work is only going to take I say that. We're going to be there, get their stuff straight, and then I don't leave until Saturday at 8 p.m. So we're going to be in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm going to be in Arlington, but we're flying out of Dallas. So I'm going to be in that area for February 11th and 12th. So just letting y'all know. And this is what happens when I have a bunch of questions and I completely miss. I wish they had a search inside of. Oh, they do. I was going to say, I wish there was a search inside of social. What is this called? vMix Social. So I can search for streaming. Yes, for streaming. This is back to, oh, y'all can't even see what I'm talking about. For streaming, honestly, I started with the GTX 1650 and that worked great. And that's more than enough for streaming because we were doing streaming with a TI 750 and it was working fine. So, I mean, unless you can find a cheap, used, in good condition GTX 750, you can go as low as that or 950 or something like that. That will work great as well, too. Now, how do I get rid of... Oh, there we go. I was using the search inside of vMix Social, which is the first time I used it, and I didn't know how to erase everything. Back to norm. I want to create Ethernet cables bought in 500-foot boxes. Is it difficult to learn to install the connectors properly? No, it's not. Get pass-through connectors. Even though I have done them a long time, the long way, these pass-through connectors is what I use all the time now, and it makes it super, super simple. So if I cut over here, so these pass-throughs are what I've used. And the idea is they're going to pass all the way through here. And then when you have your crimp tool, the crimp tool that I have actually has a color code on the other side of the cutting block. So you can actually see if your cable is right before you waste a lot of time. This has saved so much time because they just pass through. You make sure you have brown, green, white, blue, white, green, orange, white, orange. That's the color. And I was actually not looking at the picture because I've had it in my head so much. You run it through there, make sure you see it's fine, crimp it down, boom, there you go. And these are really cheap, and I actually need to order some more myself. Let's do about 200 of those. No, I don't need a protection plan on those. And let's go back, and then the crimp tool. This is actually the one that I use. So like you see right here, it actually has the color. So when you pass this through on the opposite side, it will show you exactly the color it needs to be. And it has a stripper on there as well too. So you can strip the cables as well. So really cool. Really like that. And it makes it really, 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 really simple to make your own cable. So once you learn how to make your own cables, I promise you, you're not going to buy, ask Anthony, just like when you learn how to build your own computer, you're not going to go back to buying one because it makes it so much easier. And I will put this in here as well. Cable crimper. Now I also put restrain boots on mine as well too. That's just like the boot so that little clip doesn't break off. I'll put a link to this as well too. So this Cat 6 pass-throughs. And then the boot restrainers. I mean, that's up to y'all. There's a bunch of these. And I don't know why. Hey, have y'all noticed the change in Facebook? I mean, not Facebook. Well, Facebook is always changing stuff. They made a change on YouTube now to where every time when you hover over a video, it does a little pop-out window and it automatically starts playing. I'm not a big fan of that. Me personally, I'm not. Ethernet boots. So all of that is there. Let's see. Where do we leave off? Shane and Hannah, what's going on? Thanks for joining. And like I said, I wasn't going to do a stream today, but I couldn't stay to sleep. So, hey. All right, let's actually do that. That's why I had email up. Streets of Destiny, regarding the email I sent earlier, OBS encoder is at X264 to restream to YouTube. Bitrate is at 25. Video is lagging. That sounds like it's the system is having an issue with that. Because if you go in OBS, let's cut over here again. And we're in OBS. Let me get my screen out of here and take that off. In OBS, when you go to your settings, you have your output. You can use software for your encoding, but there is also a setting for your recording. So if you change this, now you can pick which encoder, just like you can change the encoder in here. So if you're experiencing lag in your stream, and you said you're using 264 and at 2,500 kilobits per second, if you're streaming and it's getting lag, set the exact same thing here and do same as stream. Now it's going to be using software. Record it, and do you see the lag there? Because if you're getting lag, I really think it's your computer is having an issue processing that, and would go to a GPU or a faster CPU would be able to remove that. Because again, at my church, we don't have a GPU anymore. We have a Ryzen 5 1600, which has 6 cores and 12 threads, and it's able to process everything without any issue at all. That's what I'm thinking from a lag experience. At least every time I've noticed it, that's what it's been. It's that the system is not fast enough to do it. Because I think Gates of Faith was like that originally. And then I ended up upgrading and got them to where they're at now. And that's what was going on. And while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and open up these emails. And I'm going to go through a couple of questions. Since trying to see which one I had. So I'm not going to show their email, but I'm going to read over one that it has. Hey, AJ, I have OBS also on my home computer with no issues. However, it looks, well, let me paraphrase this. Pretty much somebody contacted me and they said that OBS is completely locked out. They can't make any changes and can't do anything. Now, that is very, very strange. I've never seen anything like that to that extent. Now, some lockout you can do, which I've done at my church, is audio. I've locked that out. So, I mean, you have your locks here, so you can't click here and move stuff all over the place. I mean, you can unlock that, and now you can move this all over the place. I don't think that's the lock that was being mentioned. And why is that? Wrong size. But he was saying can't change anything. I mean, you can do a lock on the audio. So like here, I can't change the audio anymore. But if there's an interface lock, I have never, ever seen that. Let me know if y'all have ever noticed anything to where you just can't change anything or touch anything in here. I'm thinking it's just something like this, but again, I don't know because I just have not come across anything similar like that. Let me see another email that I have. So I got an email here from Samuel saying, hi, AJ, hope you're doing well, brother. I do some dabbling with media-centered stuff and have been thinking about making videos like you and maybe even doing installs and such. My focus would be with Spanish churches. My question is the income good? I'm sure it's something that grows over time. And did it take you long to go full-time? Thank you. Now, I don't know if I answered this last week or not, but for me, mine is a little bit different. It has taken since COVID for me to earn enough money from what, and again, not making money, earning money. If y'all read some stuff, y'all would know what I'm talking about. But it took me a while to earn enough for that to be able to live off of that and replace my job income. It took COVID to do that because before COVID, I had to prove myself to people, and a lot of people didn't think that this live streaming stuff was important for ministries. So that took me a while. But again, this was something that I enjoyed, and more importantly, this is what I was called to do. So the fact that I followed it, it took care of itself. I had other things that came in the way that supplemented me until it got to that point, which I'm very thankful for. I'm not gonna brag or nothing like that, but I'm able to maintain. Like I said, we ain't got a Lexus outside or a Tesla or nothing like that yet. We ain't got a massive mansion yet, but I'm able to pay my bills and do whatever because of what I'm doing, and I get to travel and help y'all. So I'm thankful about that. So yes, it does grow over time. Let me see. It was another question here. Oh, that's some people want me to build a streaming PC for them, which I've already ordered the parts for. I will let y'all know about that. Oh, did I not respond to this one? Harold sent me an email. My name is Harold. I just seen your review of the $700 PTZ camera on YouTube. In this particular video, it wasn't installed yet. Have you installed it, and are you still using it at your church? If so, how is the quality? My church is small, and we typically use an iPad to stream. However, we're now looking at upgrading all of our AV equipment. Just purchased a Behringer X32, so now moving on to cameras to improving our stream. Thank you for all the information you've already provided in your videos. Yes, that camera that I reviewed was the one that I donated for our front view at my home church to go along with the PTZ Optics 20X that we have that's in the back. So I donated that camera that PTZ Optics gave me that I did a review on. I gave it to my church, and then I bought this other one because people asked me about it, and then I don't have a reason to have a PTZ camera here in my apartment. So I gave that and replaced the other front camera that we got. So, yes, it's been doing well. You can always go look up Antioch Verona anywhere, anytime on the YouTubes, and you can see the feed. I mean, we don't use that front camera that much now because of COVID, because there's really no reason. But, I mean, it looks great. So I think I've babbled enough to go through the email. Let's jump over and see where we're at. That's page 3, page 2. Supportable system, streaming. Where am I left off? All right, back to Paul. Here. Sent. Just finished our church live stream service on Facebook. First time using laptop to stream out in that place and improve a lot. Thanks to AJ for helping out. Hey, you are welcome. Timothy wants to know, do you recommend streaming services in 60 frames per second if you have the bandwidth? Honestly, I switched over. I don't think it matters. The reason I switched over to 60 is because my pastor was moving a lot, and I started seeing blurry lines. That's why I bumped it up to that. I mean, it all depends on the type of feel that you want to go. I think Churchfront did a video talking about the difference of the frame rate. It's more of the feel. Like TV is normally around like 24 frames a second. So you want to have a cinematic approach in this kind of low, slower in image quality. So I don't want to say image quality, but the frame rate, you can go for that. I go for 60 to where it looks just like you were actually there. That's why I go for it. But I don't really think it's a big difference. But if you got it, go for it and see if anybody complains about it. Pat wants to know, will I post a link to the camera, the small one or the camcorder? Which one? Well, I should just post both of them. Actually, it's in the description of this video. All of the equipment that I have is in the description below. But let's bring it up just to verify here. So if we come over here, we scroll down here, my current equipment. That's a bad picture. Where is it at? So those are the cameras. This is the ZV-E10. That's the newer one that I was using. I need to remove this. I gifted this to a friend, so I don't have this one anymore. So I need to edit that. Where's it at? Oh, I don't actually have it on here. That's strange. Well, let's look this up. That is the AX5 Sony 4K camcorder. If I make this change here, this link will always be there. So that's why I'm going to do it this way. And I don't know why Kit has been going super, super slow. Forget it. I'll fix this later, but let me, I'll do a link to both the cameras. The mirrorless camera that I have is already in that link. Sony 4K camcorder. That is the AX53. That is the one that I'm using right now. And it looks like they don't make that one anymore. They have it on here, but I think it's overpriced. Well, this is actually coming directly from Sony. I guess the times are tough with the parts and everything like that. So this is the Sony 4K camcorder, and I need to put this link here as well too on my kit. And I will fix that. Yeah, and the whole kit page just crashed on me. Let that get added on here whenever. Let's see. Where do we leave off? Question is, does YOLO Box Pro work with webcams in churches? I do not believe so. It does not. But you know what? Hold on. Let's why don't we test it out? All right, we got the YOLO right here. Trying to turn my overhead camera on. There we go. And I have a webcam. And I'm like, how can we hook this up so y'all can see it? Oh, yeah, we got the Mac. I can use that input so y'all can see it, hopefully. All right, got my HDMI cable from my Mac. Let's just plug in. This is HDMI out here. And we're going to check out the camera I just reviewed from Rockware. See if that one works. All right. So we got this. Now, where's my camera at? Oh. I'm sitting here like, where's it at? It's right here on top of my monitor. I'm going to try and create a live stream here on the device. Let's cut over to that screen so y'all can see. All right. Let's Gonna do test. Not really, and this is all live, so I have no idea what's gonna happen next. All right, so we're here. Let's see. I'm plugging in this webcam right now. I'm gonna plug it into the USB. So we're plugged in right there. Let's see, do we see anything? All right, so I got that. That showed. And guess what, folks? Hey, right there live. Yes, it does. So, hey, I did not know. So there you go. USB is going through the YOLO. So there you go, sir. Right there live, there's your answer. So that does work. So that's cool. I did not realize that. So thank you for pushing me to try something new. So yes, awesome there, YOLO. And while I got this, let me go ahead and pull down an update here and let that install while we're talking. So, hey, thank you. So that does work for you. So that would be really cool. LV. I noticed that the fiber HDMI is really warm on the connectors. Have you seen this? Yes, I have. That's to be expected because I can't reach it. The other one here, it does run but it's not scalding hot. So. Here we go again, folks. So it seemed like a lot of people liked this part. So I'm gonna have to do this again right now because we got some foolishness going on again in the chat. So let's go over here. Let's scroll up. And where is it? Where are you? Trying to find it because somebody just posted some nonsense in here. So it's actually after this one. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. This, what is this? See, let's go. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this because I don't know. Oh, good. It ain't nothing on here. Yeah. This account was made on the 19th of this year. No subscribers, no videos, and it's just spam. Get lost. Report. Unwanted commercial content spam. Boom. That person's gone. Let's go back over to their channel. We're going to go over here. We're going to block user. Report user for scam and spam. Spamming live stream comments. And boom. Goodbye. So some people said they didn't know about that. So there you go. So I don't want to take a lot of time to keep doing that, but I mean that's just annoying. Like I don't understand the point of that. But anyway, let's go to Dylan. Is it worth getting an 18 mini stream when we only use 3 cameras? I think so for future, but how do I explain it? Yes, I think it's a good investment because first, just like we said earlier in a question, it's going to give you a dedicated out that's going to go feed to TVs, displays throughout the sanctuary, give you your multi-view at the same time, and it's going to give you 2 USB outs. So one can be connected to a computer, another one could be connected to, for computer like for Zoom or something like that, or audio phone calls, and then the other one will be connected to a drive to record. So yes, I think it is a very good investment, even if you're only using 3 inputs because it's there. and then you can always add stuff later, and you don't have to buy anything else except for the other camera and the cable. Back to Anthony, he was saying, "I'll never buy another computer ever." Hey, once you figure it out, I mean, the whole world opens up to you. I have not bought another computer except for this Mac, which is like 2 years ago, and my laptop because I needed it. Every other computer I've built myself. Norm was saying that crimp tool is the one I was looking at. Awesome. Monty, what is going on? Man, Monty is dropping some serious content, folks. I always highly endorse Monty because I love the stuff that he's doing, and been so busy. We need to do a collab, but I'm bouncing all over the place. So if you haven't, folks, make sure you check out Monty over here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm not subscribed on my business one, but I am subscribed on my regular one. So, but hey, we're going to do it anyway. There you go. Monty, there we go. Another subscribe for you. Help you out there. And I mean, like I said, he has a lot of content. This one that I've been looking at, his brand deals, things that he's been doing the last couple of days has been really, really cool. Especially the cable management and all this other stuff. Really awesome. So, hey, you want some other stuff? Check this dude out. All right. Let's see. Mr. Otis, what are your thoughts on the 8x8 4K HDMI matrix encoder by Aura? Honestly, they contacted me to do a review on that one. I have not heard back from them on that one. But I think, honestly, based on the one that I was going to use at my church, I was going to use the 1x4 HD-Base-T, but because the ceilings were so high on my platform, I couldn't get there. That's what I was planning on using with the new projectors. I really like their stuff. And honestly, in making sure I don't hit the button, this cable is hitting the buttons on my Stream Deck. Oh, before I finish that, Chuck Taylor sent me a stuff. Elgato now has a foot pedal, just like the Stream Deck, and a lot of people were asking me to check that thing out, which is really, really interesting. So, I mean, you got a pedal right there that gives you three direct buttons, but changing on the app. Once you change the app, you can link it to that, just like I use right now. When I open up vMix, my console switches over to something else. But I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Again, in my mindset, I'm trying to think what would be the process. So like at my church, if I use something like this, I would have that set to like go live or switch to a scene or something like that if it was one person in the booth. For me, I already have 2 Stream Decks. If I could link it to my TP link and I could just press the pedal and turn everything on, or I think I would hook it up to my lights so I can just press a step down and it'll turn the lights on. I think that would be cool. But looking at it, it's going for, and it's already out of stock. Back in stock this February. It's $89. Not bad. I think about maybe checking it out, but no promises. But back to Otis. I mean, I think they're good. I did have some issues, but with their last one, but that was because of the camera that I connected to it. It just didn't read it like it was a monitor, so it wouldn't output. Thankfully, the great people at Aura sent me a new one, and I sent it back, and I had the exact same issue. When I changed the camera, it worked fine. So that's the one I actually installed at my chapel. But honestly, I think it's really great, and especially being able to send power, video, and audio over a single Ethernet cable up to 500 feet. That's great. Great. Anthony saying, I never used the software encoder. I always use the GPU option, which is good because in dedicated streaming systems, they're not being used. Even though like this system over here, it's set up. Both of these systems I used to game on, but it's more than enough power for live streaming with their GPUs. So this GPU is not even using 5% to do what I'm doing. So You know, that's why I think it's good to have one, because you can offload that stuff to it. They should also open up the stream setting dock to check the stat of the stream. Okay. I can't remember what that's in reference to, but that is a good way to check how stuff is going. Sean, 150-foot fiber HDMI cable. Do you trust them? My 75 works fine. Yeah, the 150 has been working great. I've used up to 200. The G50 camcorder that I left on a rolling tripod down at United Methodist Church in Elgin was connected to a 200-foot, and it worked perfectly fine. I don't have any issues. Like, even the one that I have connected right now to my studio camera is 100-foot, and that works great as well too. So, I mean, I've used up to 200 without any issue. I have a 100 that I replaced going to our static camera at my church without any issue. There's a 150-foot on the floor that's connected to another G50 that I have at Spring Creek without an issue. So I just must have got a bad batch or something like that. Pat. AJ, you can certainly brag. Nah, I'm not that type of person. But like I said, I plan on doing a full story, my story type of video. I'm just waiting for some stuff to be in place to finish up. And then, you know, for those who are interested, I'll be able to do that. Sometimes our OBS would freeze up because of a bad source. We ended up having to create a new OBS scene profile, and it worked fine once we created what we needed. Yeah, I've seen that before, that a profile can get corrupted and then making a new one works well. So yeah, I've seen that before. Ty wants to know, with respect to the last video, Zion Baptist Church, day 2, do you update your drawing when you have to make changes on site with components, cabling, switches? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But the good thing is, for the most part, and actually, I should have it here on my computer. Yep, here it is, Zion Baptist. Let's open this up. And I haven't updated this because this was just yesterday. So let's go here and we'll check it out. Let's move this over here to the right. All right. So in this setup right now, this is what we install. We have both of the cameras connected over. Can we make this a little bit bigger? All right. So we have the two cameras connected over HDMI. The ProPresenter system is connected here. And this cable actually, I did this wrong. This was supposed to be a stage display. So that back TV needs to be connected that way. I actually had this coming out of here. So, because we had the pastor, sanctuary, left, right, basement, pastor, back, and classroom. All of those were hooked up with the original setup. So this is actually going to be a back to the DVI splitter, and then this is going to be a HDMI to DVI cable. That's what I just ordered, and pretty much all of this is set up the exact same way. And I'm trying to find a color I didn't use. Yeah, all of this is set up. I just didn't realize that this needs to be plugged into the computer, but he's really not happy with, Jerry's not happy with the iMac anyway. So we'll see what we do with that. But technically, the good thing is nothing really had to change here because all of this is what it was originally was. This cable right here is what we're going to get a new one to. And all of this now is going to be back in the attic over here. And this is going to be the long run. And why are these cables all over the place? Yeah, so I think I just made a mess. But this is how everything was going to be set up now. So this is the only run that we have to do to the TVs because everything else is already connected. And this is just the new one that we're putting in place that I have to run back in the ceiling. And I will do this the long way. I am going to just, I'm not even going to put this near the other ones. I'm going to try and probably put it right up against the wall and then run it that way. And I was going to say I was going to tack it down, but I don't want to do that because I want to make it easier than what somebody did for me. If somebody has to pull that cable, I might try and put like L brackets so that the cable just rests on top of it or something like that. I just don't want to have anything so if somebody tries to pull it, they would have an issue. So I just got to run this cable and then do this, and then the splitter is going to have a smart plug on it. But thank you. I didn't do that last night because when I came here, I just went to sleep. So let's save that, and we go from there. Bishop Michael, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining. Just like Otis is saying, I have to agree. Fast movement, less than 60 frames causes tearing. And that's what I was seeing when my pastor was moving back and forth. That's why I moved to it. Back to Bishop Michael. I'm interested in using a confidence monitor using a smart TV for the front of the church. What size do you recommend, and how should we run connected? Well, it depends. I need to know the distance of where it's going to be. Now, you could get one of these floor TV mounts that are around like $150 that it can hold up to a 40-inch, and it's like meant to be on the very front row on the floor, and then you can put something from there, or are you putting it on the back wall or from the ceiling? What's the distance from that? Just like others have said, if it's just going to be a confidence monitor just to show text and everything like that, you could just do a wireless HDMI on the back of the TV and hook it up to your presentation software, and then you don't have to worry about running cables at all. If you want it to show video and stuff like that, and you need it to be in sync, I would run a straight cable to that. Fiber, SDI, whichever one. That's what I would do. But it kind of need to know the distance that you're going from. Mike, thanks, AJ. Your videos have helped me a ton for purchasing the right gear for my new company. Hey, I'm glad it's been of help. And then follow up. Do you prefer SuperSource on ATEM Extreme or OBS vMix for overlays and borders when doing an event on site? It depends. If I have time to prep, I would do it all in the ATEM. If not, I would do it in OBS. Like when I do sports, I do the score through the software because it's just easier to do it that way. But technically, could I do it all in the ATEM through SuperSource? I could, but I just don't. But yeah. Anthony, y'all are reading my mind. We were just talking about this. Your thoughts on Roland V1 HD Compact 4? I think it's fine. Let's go ahead and open this up. Roland V1 HD Plus. So we can see exactly what it is. All right, so here we are. And first, y'all know I'm going to draw comparisons because this is going for $995, which is the exact same price for the ATEM Mini Extreme. All right, so yes, I'm biased if we're going to spend that amount of money. I want it to have at least the same features, and it's already coming up short for me because it's only 4 inputs. Let's go to the back. So we have RS-232 built in, USB out. Hey, it has a power button. ATEM doesn't have that. USB, old USB connection. You only have 4 inputs, which are, and only one is a scalar? Okay. You got two outputs. I guess one is your multi-view, two audio inputs, as well as RCA input and quarter inch. Oh, no, those are outputs. Okay. Have tally built in. And DSK, preview, fade to black, picture in picture. You can do a split. You have your own. I mean, honestly, again, headphones and stuff like that. Blackmagic don't sponsor me. And really none of the people who make video switchers sponsor me. So in all honesty, I wouldn't pay almost $1,000 for this when I can get more features and more inputs from the ATEM for the same price. And just to show y'all again, ATEM Mini Extreme. That's going for the same price. No, I wouldn't. Am I saying it's bad? No. But if I was spending my money, I wouldn't buy that unless somebody specifically asked that's what they wanted. Parker. AJay, I have a new app for your computer that you might like, AJay. It's called Power Toys, excuse me. I remember the old one back in the day, like in Windows 98, but I have to look it up. Good day, Chuck. We were just talking about you, man. I'm gonna see if I can try and catch up with you while I'm down there in the Fort Worth area, sir. I just need to catch up with my friend to see what her schedule is. She has some stuff that she needs to go down there as well too, but we'll try and would love to catch up. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Back here, I'm looking at the Makos HDMI because the sound is so loud. Loud from what? Are you just talking about the loud from the camera, or maybe I'm missing a statement that you got? Joe Lance is saying, best move we've ever made was going to the X32. I really want to do that. But unfortunately, you know, I was going to do this as a video, and I still might do it. My frustrations, the things that bother me the most about media ministry is having to explain the need for tech to people who are the decision makers, but they have no idea what it is and don't know the need. So it's very easy to say, oh, I don't think you need this, when you actually have no idea what it is and what is going to be done. That's one of my other pet peeves. My main pet peeve is talking soft. I'm so guilty. I'm a bad dad when it comes to that. When my daughter comes whispering, Daddy, I was just wondering. I'm like, oh my God, will you speak up, please? Baby, what you're saying is important, but I need you to speak up loud, please. I mean, that's still the military in me. I don't know what it is when somebody just talks soft. But anyway, I wanted to do a video just talking about the frustrations from a media ministry, almost like a part 2, because I talked about it before, but it's more from a personal standpoint. But I don't know. Mike, and that reminds me, there was another email I wanted to address as well too. Thanks for the links. How long did it take you to learn to create your own Ethernet cable links from bulk? Is it easy to learn? It took me 5 minutes, to be quite honest. I've been making cables since 97. And again, I was a communications technician in the Marines. So we had to learn soldering, making cables, all this other stuff like that. So I was already playing around with making Ethernet before I joined the Marines. But then the fact I had to do more stuff like that is just second nature, to be quite honest. And then the pass-throughs make it a whole lot easier. When I used to make the cables, it was 3 pieces. You would put the grip that would separate the cable. It looked like a comb. You put all the wires in there. Then you had to slide it in. Then there was an anchor bracket. Then it was the cap that goes over top of that. Then you had to crimp it down. And there was so many points of failure that you would go through so many cables. But this makes it super easy now. Chris, for a while, Aaron added me and a few other people in his channel to be moderators because those drive-by spammers, they keep coming. We keep hitting. Hey, I might have to do that, Chris. I might have to grab you for that. And then Chris also said he changed it to subscribers only. I really don't want to do that. I will if I need to. I just don't. But thank you that I might be drafting some of y'all to be some moderators. Daniel, hey AJ, is PTZ best for DSLR when we don't have volunteers to handle? Is a PTZ better than a DSLR? I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Honestly, that's the reason why I moved to mine as well too, because we used to have 7 people in our media booth, and we're down, especially with this uptick in Omicron. I've restricted it to only 2 people, and that's a lot to bounce between. When we used to have 5 cameras, we replaced the 5 cameras with 2 PTZs and 1 static camera. And we're able to do everything the way we normally do. But for me, I wanted a joystick and a PTZ, so it's not people running around, because we used to have to run to each one to adjust our shots when people moved. And now we can just do it there. I actually got, I asked the folks down at Greater Faith, they had an old Sony PTZ joystick that's RS422. I asked them if I can have it because it was just sitting in a closet after I put the new stuff, and they gave it to me. So I'm trying to jimmy rig some stuff together to see if I can get that to work with our stuff, because if we do, I'm going to take that joystick and move that into our chapel, and then the only thing else I need to do is get another camera, and everything is done in the chapel in my church. But anyway, yes, that's the reason why I went to PTZs, because it's easier to manage everything like that. The Chuck Taylor, getting set to invest in the Extreme or the Extreme ISO as soon as the budget for the year is accepted. Then I'll sell the Mini and Mini Pro so I can buy another camera. Hey, honestly, I had I would honestly say, Chuck, try and keep the Mini. I still had the Mini over here, and I had somebody, and I'm gonna do it in another video because I recorded it a couple of times and it just didn't come out right. Somebody asked me, how would I bring in somebody from Zoom who was a speaker into the sanctuary? That sounds really simple. You just open up Zoom on your presentation computer, boom, switch over the presentation computer to your main output so that everybody in the sanctuary can see. The audio will be routed through and you can hear it. Excuse me. That part is easy. But my question is, how do you also send video back of people in the sanctuary just to that person? So you got to think about it, because if you're using the ATEM switcher and your input number 2 is the screen, the full screen of Zoom, and you're using the ATEM Mini Extreme and you have the USB plugging in, and that's how you're doing Zoom. When you do Zoom, the person who's talking on Zoom is just going to see themselves. So for me, what I was going to do is connect the ATEM Mini to the as an output. And well, I'm gonna explain it through that. So anyway, I'm gonna have a ATEM Mini Extreme connected to a Mini, and it opens up a bunch of other functionality. But y'all look out for the video for that. Big shout outs to Monty here. Yep, Monty is great. Yes, he is. Ty, same way. Very good. Awesome. AJ, my M1 OBS is not connected and having to run wirelessly, and says my drop frames is 50%. Is it the cause of wireless, the M1, or both? Any suggestions? I don't know off the top of my head, and I just unplugged this. Let me hook my M1 up and hook my camera up that I just unplugged to the M1 so we can look through it. Then we're going to hook up this camera back to the M1. And I need to pull my keyboard up so we can mess with the M1. All right. This is why I need more space. I was looking at getting a house that actually had a basement, and I was going to turn that entire thing into my studio. But one thing, being real transparent, trying to get a house when you have nothing but self-employment income is a pain. Because from self-employment, for me, and again, I'm giving y'all a whole lot of more detail than y'all probably want. For me, because I'm self-employed and I'm a business owner, I write off everything. Half of my apartment is my business. So when I pay my rent, half of it is paid from me personally. The other half I pay from my company so that I can write that off. My internet, because I do this, is written off. All of my gas, everything is written off. And that's legally, you're allowed to do that. But the issue that I'm having is because of how much I write off, which I legally can. It's like the mortgage company doesn't have common sense. And they're like, well, you don't make this much money. I'm like, if this is all I'm making, how do you think I'm living? I do have to pay for rent. So why don't you include that when I'm actually, I don't know, maybe I'm just ranting, my bad. Plus I'm trying to stall while I'm trying to log into my M1. And my M1 is not showing on my showing up on my ATEM. So I can't even show it to y'all. Why is this? See, this is the thing that's infuriating. Unplug. It's not even picking up my monitor. So I'm saying mirror, that's not showing. Extended monitor, that's not showing. All right, so I can't do it that way. So my bad, folks. We'll have to go back to that one. I'm going to have to circle back on your question because I can't get my M1. It's not connecting to my ATEM for video. Camera shows, but just not that. Whatever. So you can't say this ain't live because that definitely didn't work. Back to Paul. AJ, is there any way to do the Bible verses and Book of the Bible in separate? For example, one output for the Bible verses in live streaming, and then the other output in the house as only the book of the Bible. I'm sure it can be done. What's the presentation software are you using? You would have to get very particular. Hey, Ty, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What presentation software are you using? Streets of Destiny wants to know cost comparison of an ATEM or a computer. I just had somebody contact me about that. They asked if I was going to do an updated version of my $1,000 bundle that I did like in 2018 for live streaming. And honestly, I don't even recommend that anymore, mainly because that system was just to get you started. That was a streaming PC running OBS with the bundle, OBS bundle that I put together and a single camera. First off, you're not going to be able to build a computer for $1,000 anymore because of just the part shortages. And then honestly, almost everybody has some form of computer. So I would rather spend $1,000 and get the ATEM Mini Extreme, or even if you want to go with the ATEM Mini Pro, knowing the limitations of if you don't want to show anything in the sanctuary, you can go with the ATEM Mini Pro, live stream with that and get a good camera to go with that, and you'll be in the sub $1,000 if you really, really, really wanted to do that. But me personally, I wouldn't even recommend that. The A10 Mini Pro, I honestly think is good for if you're a gamer or if you're doing studio and you want to up your game and you're doing stuff from presentations and stuff like that at home. If you're doing Zoom or you're doing a Bible study or something from home and you want to bring in scripture and stuff like that. That's what I think the A10 Mini Pro is good for. That's what I recommended to Pastor LeBoy out there, because that's at home. So the HDMI out is always going to be a multi-view for her. It's not going to be broadcast to anybody else. If a church was getting something, a ministry was getting something, I'd recommend hands down the A10 Mini Extreme, because it's for future growth and it gives you the multi-view and the output at the same time. So from that, I need to do an updated version of that, but honestly, ATEM and a camera is going to give you better results than a computer, because the computer, if you want to have, even if you get like a 4 input capture device, like the Elgato Camlink Pro or something like that, that's $500 right there. So you're going to look at being around like $1,500 minimum. Excuse me, for that. So that's just my personal opinion. Pat, when I do tell it, it's a bunch of people on here that know the full details of it. I want to make sure things are in decency and order, but it's a lot. And I don't want to blast nobody when I tell that story, but I'm not going to withhold the truth from the story. Most of the time when I tell y'all this, I conveniently leave out certain parts, and there's a reason why I do that. But I want to share that, not for me to have a platform to just be like, ooh, look at me. I want to have a platform so I can show y'all, say, look at what God did. And that's really all it's about. Back here looking at some computer parts, my church has recently acquired a Lenovo Legion 5. Legion. We are Legion. We are many. The Ryzen 7 5800H, 3.2 gigahertz with Windows 11 Home, RTX 3060, 16 gigs in memory, 256 gigabyte SSD, NVMe. Okay. Very powerful system. First thing I would do is upgrade and add a secondary hard drive or expand that hard drive. But let me go to your second comment of that. It's been running well. I use vMix. The 3060 is very powerful. It can do 4x4 at 1080p setup. The GPU supports being able to use all the memory in it, which is also great. Yep. I have the 2070 in my system. I really want to upgrade. So let me see. Who wants to be a moderator? Because this is... I'm going to have to start doing that. I'm really going to have to start doing that, because and it's the same nonsense, man. Sorry. Gotta. When Tom Fuller, what my boy says, like, people play stupid games, they win stupid prizes. And guess what? You got surprised with a ban and a report. That's what you got. Let's remove this comment. Now, this person actually has some videos on their channel, but it's a bunch of nonsense. Either way, sorry. Blocking this user, reporting user, spamming live stream. All right, that's over. We're going a little bit longer than we normally would, folks, but hey, I'm doing good. So let's see what else we got. Paul asked about that split. Does presenter, can you do that? We need to purchase version of Pro. For that moment, I'm doing 2 sets of Bible verses. I mean, In my mind, I'm sitting back thinking you technically could, not in Presenter, not off the top of my head. I don't know of a way to do it exactly the way that you're talking about. I mean, the other way you could do it is have two separate screens, and the pro version would require that, and then you'd have to make the template in a certain way to where it would cut off all the rest of the stuff, which I think honestly would be a hassle, but theoretically it's possible. All right, back here, we have a Yellow Box Pro at our church. We had a streaming Logitech camera that was overwhelmed by our singing and sound system. We're looking at the Makos HDMI. Oh, okay. So, I mean, if you're doing that, if you're using if it's being overwhelmed, you ever thought about just connecting your audio? If you have like a system for your speakers and stuff like that, why not just connect your audio from your mixer coming into here? So you're not going to be pulling audio from the camera. It will be pulling in audio from a separate input. Then you don't have to worry about the overwhelming sound. See if that's an option. What type of mixer or sound system are you currently using? Back to Bishop Michael. I want to use it to display scripture lyrics for the praise team, offerings, confessions. Okay, so that's just a straight text. If you aren't going to do any video in any way, shape, or form, hook that up to, I mean, if you use Presenter, you would need to have the Pro version to do this, or if you have Pro Presenter, it would just come out the box that way. But honestly, I would just have, you can use... You can use something like this, give yourself an extra display, then hook this up to a wireless HDMI, and then have the other end plugged onto the back of the TV, set up in Pro Presenter or the paid version of Presenter, a stage display that just shows nothing but text, and then you're good to go. And again, the main thing is the distance from that. If you can put it on the floor, you can probably go with a 40. If you want to put it in the back wall, 65 or higher. But again, I don't know the distance of how far that's going to be from where people are going to be looking at. Yeah, Chris, somebody pointed this out to me. That only works with the app. The way the Roland Aerocast is talking about, it's meant that it looks cool. It really does. But it's using your phone and tablets. And I did not see a way to hook up real cameras to that device. Because you're using an iPad or a tablet for your view and the app to connect to the streaming and to the box. The box only has 2 mic inputs. I think it's good, but if you have a handful, I mean, I think that's a good, if you don't have any cameras and you have nothing but phones and tablets, I think that would be a great upgrade for that. But I don't know. I really want to get my hands on it to see, but we'll see. Hey, mate, please, any idea what I can do to remove unwanted noise during my church live stream, like a crying baby in the hall? Well, what are you using? How is your sound being captured? Are you using just the audio from the camera, or are you using from your sound system? Let me know that, and then we can try and weed that down. Good morning, AJ. I realize I have a Western Digital Passport storage device for a long time. I'm wondering if I could use that to record services instead of having to buy a new SSD. I can't guarantee that because you need a pretty fast drive to record everything. You can test it and see. It may record and then fail. But again, you don't need to have something massive. Like, for example, who is it, Anthony? Or no, Brandon. Brandon from a Facebook group gave me one of these. He sent me this penny drive, which is 512, and you need to change it to the right connection to go to the ATEM to record. Well, actually, I don't want to assume the ATEM. What are you connecting it to record? Let me ask that question before I start running off at the mouth. see what page are we on. Lester. I signed up for media art school so I can learn more about video production. Why do some members at the church saying it is too much just for turning on cameras to record the services? That's about just as dumb as people saying, why do I need to go to college or seminary school to learn about this? It's like, again, I know that's blunt, but some people don't think before they open their mouth. Like, if you're not in this field, first off, Lester, if you want to go to school to learn for that, that is your choice. And it's nobody's opinion. I didn't ask for your opinion to let me know if you think this is a good device. I mean, because first off, by thinking you just got to turn on cameras, they know, that tells you right there, they don't know nothing about what it takes to do what we do. As well as what we do is changing hourly what we do. So it's about understanding the concepts and the principles. I don't know. Maybe that's another one. See, everyone is ignorant just in different subjects. Stupidity is when you accept ignorance as fact and you refuse to look up anything else. And that's just straight stupid. Don't talk about something that you don't know, or don't assume stuff. What's the classic movie? I'm not going to say the whole thing. It was Under Siege. Was it Under Siege? It was one of these Steven Seagal movies. It was talking about assumption is the mother of all mess ups. I just put it that way. Don't assume anything. But yeah, I mean, dude, don't waste your time on that. If that's what you feel God led you to do, go for it. I am 100% behind that's what you want to do, because obviously you had that desire for a reason. He gives you the desires of your heart. So if he gave you that desire, he's the one that gave you the desire in the first place, to want that in the first place. But anyway, go for it. And because it takes way more than what a whole bunch of, what they say. I'm not a sports person, but you ever go to the games and you see everybody yelling from the stands as if you've never coached, you've never played, but you know exactly what the team needs to do to win. If you knew so much, how come you're not doing? What's that shirt that we say? So volunteer. Before you complain, have you volunteered? Norm helped with that question. Directional mics like the SM57 helps with the noise in kids and stuff like that. Awesome. Yeah, I think some other people are jumping in. That's the beauty of the group, folks. We all are here to help everybody out. My cousin Derek, what's going on? I already had a HD passport to store recordings of the church services. I would connect it to the ATEM using a C drive. How should it be formatted? If you're connecting it, well, first off, just like the same way, you got to make sure it's fast enough to record to it, Derek. When you connect, make sure you format it in exFAT, and then it will work. And I miss where that comment is coming from. Mike, my church will use the PTZ cameras with vMix to send service to Zoom. Some Zoom attendees will be reading and will be projected onto the large screen in the sanctuary. Audio buses to Behringer 404. Okay. Ty, yep, more space would do you good, in my opinion. Nah, I completely agree. Like, where I'm at right now is supposed to be a living space, so I don't know, getting too personal, but I mean, not personal, it's not like that, but I mean, I do this to focus, to help, because this is my calling right now. But I mean, I would like to have like a couch, so me and my daughter can cuddle and watch one of her favorite Disney movies here and stuff like that. I do need some more space, because as much as I love doing this, I kind of just want to sit down sometimes and be away from this. I want this to be in a room somewhere. So I go there to do this, and it's not right here in front of me the whole time. Not that I hate what I do. I just need a dedicated space, and really working for that. Streets of Destiny was talking about go for a lease to own. Yeah, I've been looking for that, but then some people are just charging an arm and a leg for some stuff But I'll look into that as well too. Chris, hey AJ, have you thought of one of those locations where the lower floor is a storefront with stairs in an apartment? Since it was built be half commercial, it could be easier for banks. I thought about that, but then I also got to think I need to have a place where it's good for my daughter to play, and I kind of don't want to be in some type of thing. So I don't want to say I'm picky, but I am. So I want to be close to where my daughter's school is and be ideal for us to have a yard, for her to have activities, a playground for her to get close to. And then it's not going to be a drive for me to run around in a safe neighborhood, has Verizon Fios internet available, open skies, so I can put solar panels, because this house is not going to be my forever house. The plan is for me to be close, because VCU is this direction, maybe 5 miles this way. The idea is when I'm done, when I move into my forever home, I'm going to remodel this house and rent it out to college students. And since it's solar powered, they don't have to pay for electricity. They can just rent it and go from there. So it's always a plan behind the plan behind the plan with what I'm doing. Sandra, hey, you are not late. Derek, again, by the way, had to hit the reset button on the TV Sunday to get it past the shutdown prompt. The remote would not select cancel. Okay, in y'all's TVs, make sure you have the right remote, because I had them set for each one. Originally, somebody asked me to do a universal remote for all the TVs that control all of them, because y'all have Android TVs, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio with the remotes. So if it didn't shut off, probably got to get a universal remote that can talk to all of them. Let me know. I hadn't heard nothing back from when somebody asked me about that. Extreme from computer OBS would eliminate my encoder problems on a Mac. I mean, if you're using the Extreme, unless you really, really, really need to, I would remove OBS completely. That's what we did at Cornerstone. We completely remove OBS, and everything is being done through the Extreme, which is handling the encoding. So you don't need a computer to handle it at all. But the workflow is different because you got to use a lot of lower thirds and DSK, downstream keys, upstream keys, which is all going to be handled in your presentation software, which is doable. But I think that would help a lot. Rhonda, what am I missing? How do you get OBS-like scene streams from ATEM Mini Pro? I stream with OBS and only use ATEM as my video source and haven't tried. Well, you're not going to be able to get it that way. Your scene stuff like that is actually going to be your multi-view from the ATEM, and your OBS is only going to see the program that you have being sent to it. It's never going to give you the scenes like that, because in OBS, all it sees is the camera, which is whatever you've picked. Like right now, you're only seeing this one camera, and vMix can only see one camera. It can't see everything. So I can't do the multi-view screens right now. But yeah, what you're talking about, you need to design your scenes around as if you only have one camera, because that's all you have. That one window in OBS is going to be, what you see in that window is going to be dependent on whatever you pick on the ATEM at that given time. So you can't say, oh, scene number 1 has my back PTZ, and then scene number 2 has my front PTZ from the ATEM. It doesn't work that way. And I don't know why it feels like, oh, it's this fan. Like blew some lint or something in my nose, or tickling or whatever. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why is the same person in this daggone chat? What the? Ugh. I'm sorry. Like I said, if anybody's interested in being a moderator, please let me know, because it looks like I'm gonna have to do this now, because this is just infuriating. Like, and I just don't understand the logic. Like, what do you plan to get out of? I mean, tricking people into clicking a link that looks sus in the first place, just to install some nonsense. Sorry. Block user. I guess. And I really don't want to. I mean, what do y'all think? I need to do a poll to see what y'all think about that. Would y'all mind if I ended up doing only subscribers could actually do comments? I put that as a poll. Let me know what y'all think about that, because this is getting out of control, and I'm not trying to get angry because I can just feel that I'm starting to get that way. Uh, Chris, I'm not even going to put your comment up there. Paul, yes, I was actually planning on doing a review of the ones that were shared in the Facebook group. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to look through them and I'm going to highlight maybe 2 or 3 and just rotate them around, or have people submit them and then I do a review like that. That's what I'm thinking. And no, Paul, I have not checked that out. Diffusion Media. Hey, AJ, I'm having an issue with my second HDMI out on the mini stream. It wouldn't display out. Do you have any idea of what I could do to reset the system if it will come back? You could try and downgrade the firmware to a lower version. Like, we're at 8.64 last time I checked. Let's go over here and see if they do have anything newer. Go to support. ATEM. Yeah, we're still on 8.64. So, and I got all this stuff in the way. Yeah, we're still on 8.64. So I would try and maybe go to 8.63 and then just see if it works. If it doesn't, I don't know how old your ATEM is. You might need to just do a service call with Blackmagic, because I've heard of a couple of people having that. Thankfully, I have not, but I have heard of some people having to send it back, and they sent. Well, actually, I had a power issue with the web presenter, but I got that back, and it's been doing all of my live streams ever since. Jerry, any suggestions for fixing audio clipping issues in OBS? We have an aux bus on our X32 going to a smaller mixer and then to the computer. It sounds fine on a smaller mixer, but clips in OBS. My question is, why are you going through a smaller mixer? Just asking. And then how is that smaller mixer connected to OBS? Let me know, and then I'll circle back on that. Andrew, greetings, AJ. What's the best way to capture a live poll during worship using Presenter for in-house and OBS for the live stream? Well, Presenter actually decommissioned their polling feature, which I really, really liked, and I don't know why they didn't continue it. But let me see. Let's go over here to the desktop after I log into Presenter here. So there used to be a feature that had polls right here, which stinks. They don't have it anymore. What you could do is go to one of these other sites that does polling separately, like a web page. I want to see, does somebody buy the name that they use? Because it used to be wepolls.net or something like that. but I'm sure you can do a free poll. Like I'm looking here. This one is called easypolls.net. This was just me doing a search on here. Maybe now I'm wondering, you could, I guess, if you can make a link to this and you can put the link in the description and then you can have people go to it. I don't know. Maybe I was going to say I would work on something like that. I ain't got the time. So any developers out there, hey, there's an opportunity for y'all to make a polling thing that can be done, maybe pushed out to a green screen or something like that can be used as an overlay, but then also can have a dynamic link that you can link to YouTube. That would be a good option for you. So that's a nice business opportunity for you. So let's see. All right, so the poll so far, we have 79% say, yes, I should have subscribers only. Not now. Make sure, when I'm saying subscribers, meaning that you have to be subscribed to my channel, not members. That's something different. This is just that if you've hit the subscribe button on my channel, those are the only people who can comment and not just anybody. So let me make sure I get that clear. So I'll give y'all a second to try that again. I just want to make that clear for y'all, because I don't want it to think that, oh, the only people who can do it is if you become a member and you're paying monthly. That's subscribers and members are something completely different. Hey, be on the lookout for it. I've been saying I was going to do something, but I need to put that together and do something. Yep. Richard, yeah, that's exactly right. When you install, you can go, when you install I can't even spit it out. Let me actually just show you. How about that? Instead of me trying to ramble. So when you go to Blackmagic's site, they do have a way, when you install certain products, it comes with software to where you can test your hard drive speed. So where's it at? I didn't think that was it. Yeah, raw. This is the Blackmagic raw speed test. I thought that was something else. So we can test our drive. So let's say I want to test 4K at 8:1 ratio. And this used to let me pick where I was going to have this go to. So right there, that's what it says my system can handle, because of my CPU can handle at 184 frames a second. But no. This isn't the right test. I was right. I was looking at this. I was like, that doesn't look like. That's from a raw, for using that raw file format. That's not what I was looking for. It was a hard drive speed test. Let's actually pull that up and see. Capture. I gotta find it here. I thought I had it. Let me see if it's on the other computer real quick. Yeah, it is. So let me do it this way. I'm going to remote into my church's computer because I don't want to disrupt this system while I'm doing this. Oh, wait a minute. AJ, you didn't have to do that. Okay. Yeah, I can't. I got a second screen that's connected, but I can't pull it over. So it's called a disk speed test by Blackmagic. It's not a specific link. It's bundled with, I think, the with the video capture device software and stuff like that. So if I cut over here to the computer at my church, so here it is, the disk speed test, and let's go full screen here. So in here, we can pick our drive. And so I have on this computer, here is our NVMe drive that I put in here. And then this is a regular mechanical drive. So if I just pick this mechanical drive here, and we're going to test a 4 gigabyte file just to see how fast this can go. You see that it's writing at 61 megabytes per second, 62. So it's saying here it could handle 2K at that speed, and it's reading back almost about the same speed. So, okay. Now let's go ahead and pick this SSD, which is going to be a little bit different because you technically don't want to test this on the same drive that you're running. Again, that's what this warning is as well too. So it's going to be a little skewed because of that, but let's go ahead and run it again. Remember, it was 62.5 read and write, and that was on a regular mechanical drive. So if we run this, now, again, this is a bad comparison because it's writing on top of itself while it's writing the file to do it. So as you can see, if we stop it, we're at least 3 to 4 times higher than what it was on the mechanical drive. And then we're significantly faster on the SSD. So this is something you want to test. And again, thank you there for calling that out. And I completely forgot about that. But hey, that's what the community is for. It's not meant for me to know everything. We work together, and we can get a whole lot of stuff more accomplished when we do it stuff that way. Let's see. Where do we leave off? Back to Bishop Michael. Is it necessary for us to upgrade to the A10 Mini Extreme? We have the A10 Mini Pro. What are your thoughts? Well, it all depends on what you're trying to do. Like the same way, if you want to have that multi-view and video out going into your screens in the sanctuary, then I think it would be a good investment. And you can still keep the A10 Mini that you have, the Mini Pro, and you can use that in a secondary type of situation like I was talking about. You can put that in another part of the building, take that in your office, you put that in your road pack and book bag when you're going on the road, taking somewhere. And it's I think it's good to have both. But, I mean, for church, honestly, if you're on the grow, I think a A10 Mini Extreme is a good option. Team RHO, I'm interested in the Hot Wings Bible Bowl game that you were playing. I'm considering doing a Kahoot combined so that I could get real-time interaction. Yeah, I'm looking at how I'm going to do that as well, too, because I think what I'm going to do is have a full thing set up, almost kind of like Jeopardy. That's what I have in my mind, contestants sitting this way and their score and everything like that coming up. And I was going to use Presenter or Pro Presenter to have the screen show this way for the contestants, but a different way for the audience, as well as the interaction. And I want to be able to have vMix Social like I'm doing right now and bringing up people's comments that are going to be interactive, showing, oh my God, what's going on and stuff like that. So it's a lot of ways you can do it. And I can see that this is going to be a revision. The main thing that I have with this is people buying into it. I can have ideas all day long and people say they're interested, but when the feet come to the fire, are you actually going to follow through? That's the issue that I have. Hey, Derek. Yeah, so the remotes will turn them on, but the functionality of hitting menus and stuff like that in the TVs won't work with different remotes. All right, first time question. Is it possible to ingest a RTMP link as opposed to a web capture in OBS? Yes. Yes. You would do a media source in for that. So if we cut over here and if we come over, let me turn that comment off. Maybe see now that would be a good reason to use the pedal, because I have this linked to hitting a button to turn the comments off. If I step down to pull the pedal, yeah, maybe I might order one of those. But you could come over here and do a where is it at? A media source, and then you can uncheck local, and then there you go. You put your address and stuff like that to ingest video coming in that way. So hopefully that will help you. Disregard. And I'm starting to get hungry, folks. So we're going to be, I didn't take my medicine this morning. I didn't do nothing. I told you, I just got up. It came right here. But let's see. I think I already answered this, but again, Bishop, if you're looking at growing, yes, I think going to the A10 mini stream would be good, especially if you're planning on adding the extra stuff. Back to Rhonda. Do you have a video or know of one that does the ATEM and BS this way? That's the ATEM. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Let me know what that means. Unless I must be reading that wrong. Back to JK. So I am only getting this all started, AJ. I'm running my iPhone to my M1 and into OBS. That is where my church is at right now. So do you accept a different setup? I mean, my suggestion to your setup is if that's what you got, go with that. Like what other equipment, and again, I've had a bunch of comments, so sorry if I missed the genesis of this question. I mean, what other equipment do you have access to right now that is within budget that you're going to? Let me know about that. All right, Mike, thank you so much, because guess what? I'm about ready to make you a moderator. And Mike, you are now a moderator. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate that, folks. So, and right after that, we got somebody else posted a stupid comment in here as well. Y'all are saying yes, and then somebody's saying, dude, nonsense. All right, folks. So I'm not going to do it this time, but live streams going forward, the only time that you can actually leave a comment is you have to be subscribed to my channel. All righty. And I think this is just going to make stuff a lot more conducive instead of having to do this. And I think I just don't understand who makes this stuff. Like, what is the point? Just to infuriate people? It must be, because if it is, you won. Because just ticking me off with just dumb stuff. All right. So anyway, folks, going forward, my live streams are going to be subscribers only. Subscribers only can leave comments. So sorry about that, but hey, some people are making it not fun for everybody else, but hey. Chris, you saw it right after that. Right when I asked, they're like, another scammer. Yep. Just to let y'all know, y'all don't have to repeat the question a couple of times. I see it. I'm just going off of it. So I have a bunch of these questions. Right now, I'm 15 minutes behind because of how the stuff is feeding. So I take time. So when I get to your question, you only got to post it once, because I think the settings in here, if you post it too many times, it would actually flag you as spam. So just post it once and I'll get to you. Bishop Michael, normally, not all the time, and please don't do this, 'cause I'm going to take you to the group, because I had somebody laugh about this, and I did this morning. And I posted it intentionally to let people see what I'm talking about. So if I go here to the groups, and let's take this comment down. Let's go over here. And normally, I would post something here that specifically says, please do not post anywhere else other than in this thread. Share your live stream here. It's when I do posts like this is where you can share your live stream. And after 48 hours, I shut the posting down. So, and sorry if this comes off me being mean, but I'm going to do it anyway because it needs to be seen. Yes, Chris posted something there. Facebook, I think they're adding way too much stuff because it's messing up a bunch of things. This right here. Look at my comment. What are you doing? This person shared a live stream and said, didn't say nothing, just shared it. This is spam. So this person was blessed with Mjolnir and they are out of the group. And it said, this is what is not allowed in the group. If this was shared in that thread when it was open, it would have been fine. Just posting it out of the blue, you would be kicked out instantly. You see, and then everybody's laughing. Like, exactly. What did he do? The person live streamed to the group. Yep. I really hate to quote the queen, but another one bites the dust. Yep, exactly. So I do this, folks. I try to laugh, but the reason I say this is important, and we kind of talked about it with Lester. There are so many moving parts that are going on in what we do in media. And I do it jokingly, but I'm being serious. Because getting kicked out of my group ain't nothing world changing. It's not. But if you have an issue understanding the technology of which group am I going to share a page to, if that's difficult, it's going to be a very difficult run trying to figure out all of the stuff that's changing on a daily basis. That's the only description that I have. Few restrictions that I have, because there's another restriction that I have in the group that nobody follows because I really don't enforce it. I was asking people not to tag me and stuff so it doesn't blow me up, but I mean, that doesn't really bother me as much. I get to you when I can, but this group is meant for people to find help for media ministry, meaning that everybody in this group, I am assuming, is Christian. So if you're just sharing your service with no context about why we should watch it, it's spam. How would you like if I just came to your house and started just giving you descriptions of an air fryer? Like, I didn't ask for that. Exactly. So when you just post a live stream with no context in a group that everybody's already doing some stuff that's meant for help, and you're just posting your service with no context, not, hey, I'm having an issue with my video, I'm having an issue with my audio, hey, sorry, I couldn't shorten the video, but I'm having an issue with this and this and this. If you're just posting it, it's spam. It's unwanted. That's why if you can't follow that, you got to get gone. So I try and do it with love, but hey, that's what we do. And I blocked out people's names because I don't want them to feel bad. But hey, we do it at the same time. Jerry, we are using a smaller mixer so that the person who is handling the live stream can adjust the audio for it instead of the person. Okay, gotcha. Now I'm just wondering, from your board, if you're coming from an X32, just like others have said, you could do a aux mix, and it could work that same way. But I got you. But thanks for the clarification. Oh, and some other people said the same thing as well too. Awesome. Mom's video. I have a soft hum coming through the ATEM via HDMI from the X32 connected to a Canon XA11 via XLR. Try the hum eliminator to no avail. Any suggestions? So you're getting a soft hum coming through the ATEM via HDMI from the X32 connected to. So my question is, so coming from, all right, so from what I'm gathering, you have your X32 audio going into the Canon XA11 over XLR, and then the audio and video is coming from the XA11 into the ATEM. My question is, don't go through that. Why not just connect the X32 output, get a dual XLR to 3.5 and reassign one of the outputs that you have, or a 1/4 inch aux output or a RCA output, configure that, and then you just come from the X32 directly into the ATEM. Is that an option? Because I'm wondering, because obviously you have it connected for a reason. So I just want to know, is that an option? and then I can try and possibly help. Abraham, please let me know about Droid Cam and OBS. How many cameras can be connected to OBS through Droid Cam? Honestly, that's limited by how much the specs of your computer it can handle. I only have 3 devices, so that's only the amount that I could test. I don't know the upper limit of that. I'm just thinking from a basic computer standpoint. If the computer can handle it, that's how much you can do. JK, thank you so much. I found that. A link is actually in the description to where I got that from because somebody asked me about it. I found it and it was free. So yeah, it's under the description. It says scripture wallpaper. Hopefully that will help you out. I know I submitted this other one here for this other scammer on here. Are we caught up? Oh no, we're on another page. And I just missed a comment because we got a new comment. Hey, I just want to thank y'all so much for stopping by. If you haven't, folks, please make sure you hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do comments in the future. And hit that bell notification. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos. Let's see. Victor, I don't know if this is a follow-up directly to me or to somebody else because we had a similar question. Do you have a separate mix for your live stream? If so, where do you get the output from? Do you have a dedicated bus or is there another way that you do it? I currently don't have that because the Roland M400 that we have at my church, we don't have an option to do that, or the way that it was configured by the people who installed it. I haven't been able to figure out how to do that. Plus all of the outputs on the local board that's near the computer are used up, so I can't do anything. I have the component out is out on the back of that board, which goes into a Behringer Ultra Match Pro that converts it over to EAS when we were using the old ATEM, or now it just converts it to dual XLR cables that goes into our ATEM directly. That's how we're getting audio. So whatever the house hears, that's what we hear in the live stream. That's another reason why I wanted to go to X32, so I can make a separate mix as well too. But currently we just copy everything that comes out like a regular speaker goes into our ATEM for audio. Paul, there are a bunch of programs that you can use for that. I don't know if it's still available. MSI Afterburner will let you know the temperature. CPU ID will let you know that. Both of those are free that you can download. Chris, no, actually, it's on both. It's on both. It's actually we'll work on Linux as well too. When I found out the sound system we have at our church here in Dallas, I would check with you to see what sound connection device will pair with the yellow box. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm actually flying into Dallas on February 11th through 12th, and I'm flying out from there. As of right now, again, I got to check with my friend who's coming with me. I don't know what her schedule is going to be on some stuff she needs to do. But, I mean, as of right now, without talking with her, I don't have anything going on. I'm here. I'm going to be there. I got to be at the airport at 6 p.m. to leave. But I'm wide open that Saturday as long as nothing else is going on over. And if I'm already coming to Dallas, hey, you never know. Might be able to come by and help you out there, sir. Just contact me at, that's what I didn't do. Contact me at questions@ajhomes.com. Or if you want a consultation, folks, see, I updated it. Yay. You can go to ajhomes.com/consultations and fill some stuff out. I am still limiting on-sites. I need to have, make sure it's very, very thorough. and how many people that are there. I think I had somebody reach out and they wanted to stop by Zion Baptist, which I really appreciate. They wanted to come by and help. But again, the only person that was there was Jerry and me. And there's a reason why we did it that way. So, and Jerry stayed in the back. I stayed working what I was doing and just being really careful, folks. I mean, as many people as I'm around, that's why I'm being very particular who I'm around and how many people are coming around, as well as I got my daughter. So, but as long as we get stuff in decency and order, we'll be good. LV Collier. I connected the aux out to a bus, and then you will not need the extra mixer. The bus will control the volume using it. Exactly. So that's a good option too. Those are my thoughts, but thank y'all for confirming that as well too. Jackie. Our church is looking to upgrade our website so that we can send live stream there. Any economical suggestions for site host? What do you use? Link is down below in the description. I use Bluehost. I have converted everything over to Bluehost. I do, before I took over the website, I think my church was paying like $400 a year for a web host. It really wasn't doing anything. We moved it, cut that by half, and we went over to Squarespace, which was great. But then I had more time and more functionality because I went to Squarespace for something simple for anybody to maintain. And I had a page for each ministry, but no one used it. So except for the youth. Then I moved to WordPress after I understood it and I had way more flexibility. And I went from the yearly price from that website for one website at the church was $400 and some to where now I have a business account that runs 20 web pages and it's around $125 a year for 20. So link is down below. Bluehost, check them out. That is what I use on AJaytheCEO.com, AJayhomes.com, my business.com. There's a reason why I don't say it. Some of y'all know why I don't say it. AntiochVerona.org, eMissionary Conference, my book stuff, modernmediaministry.com. I have about P3 Barbershop and Salon is another client that I maintain. Their stuff is on there. And we have about 20 sites and they are very, very, very good. But just know, be familiar with WordPress. Squarespace and a bunch of those places are very, very, very simple. WordPress is not difficult, but it does take some work to get your mind wrapped around it. So, but a link is down below for that. Let me see. Back to Bishop Michael. What's the best way or route to add the live stream to our website? I'm using Restream.io and OBS. Well, Restream, I think they moved it to a paid model now. But where are you streaming to? That's my question. What platform do you have Restream pointed to? Let me know that because I'm logging in here. And Restream used to let, the free one used to give you, sorry, it's asking me all these messages while I'm trying to get in here. It used to give you a code to where you can hand it off to copy the code out. Now, me personally, what I would do, if you're looking for a free route and you're using Restream already, go ahead and sign up for Twitch or any of the other platforms that you got. And honestly, the easiest thing is just right click on Facebook, YouTube, or any other ones, and it gives you the code to embed the video in your website. The only issue with that is with Facebook, that changes. There's no way to dynamically do that. That's what we used to do every Sunday when we were streaming to Facebook. But by me going to Vimeo gives me a dedicated video window that does not change. And I can go to that anytime, but it changes it all the time. So like if I go over here to my church website, whenever it decides to come up. So in here, see, this is Vimeo. Vimeo is handling this, and this is the code that goes here. This does not change, but Vimeo rebroadcasts to our other locations, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, stuff like that. Restream used to offer that. I think they put that behind a pay window, or a paywall. And I'm trying to think. I was making sure nothing was showing here. There used to be an option in here to let you send this off somewhere. So I don't know. I don't know. Because that was the easiest way you could have done that. And I don't think they allow that anymore. So honestly, what I would do is go to Twitch. Twitch's page does not change. You can get the code from there and embed that in your site. But if anybody else has any options, please let me know. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. We're going to go one more round, folks, and then we're going to shut it down for the day. Back to Ty. Do you ever recommend a Stream Deck in your bid proposals? I believe that it is a time saver and would benefit most, if not all, ministries. For those who are using OBS, yes. Or if when I gauge the mindset of the people who are going to be using it, I used to always actually add a Stream Deck. The only reason I stopped when I was doing dedicated streaming stuff like that was because they weren't available. But especially if I noticed that people are having difficulties with running stuff, then yes, I would recommend them, because then it's just push button to get what needs to be done. Just like I have in my church. It's just go live, record, pre-live, live, offering, be right back, ending. That's all anybody messes with on our streaming system. It does make it really, really simple. Can you please share with us live footage of streams of those ministries for your 100 setups? Can't make up my mind on which PTZ we're using. Yeah, I'll link to them once they're done. Actually, I'll go back in the videos and tag the videos if I haven't, or make a mind to actually do that as well too, so y'all can check them out. See, question here. Is there a way to fix the sync problem with Facebook Live just in Facebook without OBS software? Things. What's the sync problem? What are you talking about? And they said they're using a phone and not a computer. So you're saying sync with video and audio? If you're doing everything from the phone, it's either the connection or your phone is not able to keep up to keep the video and audio, if that's the sync that you're talking about. Bishop Michael, the Facebook group is, you can go to this link here down below, bit.ly/MMMMEFB, Modern Media Ministry Made Easy Facebook group. Or just go to Facebook and look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. Either one will work. And then answer the 3 questions, and I was like, answer the 3 questions, and you automatically add it in. That's it. Best free scoreboard software. I'm not aware of any free ones, unfortunately. All the ones that I've used cost something. You could try out livescore.app. You should be able to download a demo version of that. But Chris, the guy who actually wrote it, there was a way around the paid model, but I actually told him about that because, hey, I want to respect the stuff he's working. So I showed a loophole. So I'm not aware of a free one. Back to Juan's video. Appreciate the Q&A. I will be making a presentation on live streaming for our jurisdiction on February 1st. Plan on pointing them to your channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Covenant Nation UK wants to know, how are you getting the lower thirds on your live stream? Are you using a PC or directly from the ATEM? Can you do lower thirds directly on the ATEM? Right now, what I'm doing is this is being sent over from vMix. So the ATEM is not streaming right now, and vMix is not streaming. My web presenter is actually streaming. So I have my ATEM going into vMix, which used to live stream, but then when everybody wanted me to review the web presenter, I have vMix going into the web presenter. That's what's live streaming. But vMix is putting all the graphics and stuff like that that you're seeing right now in my stream. Could I do it with a separate computer? Yes, I could. That's what I used to do originally before I had vMix. I used to do it with the same computer on OBS. Can you do it directly with the ATEM? Yes, you can. That's what I do at my church. Just like when you put scripture and lyrics in a lower third format, it's the exact same thing. Sometimes I put the lower thirds of whoever's preaching, their title. I put that in there, and that's all done from our presentation software, sending it over to the ATEM, and then the downstream key is layering that stuff over top of it. So yes, to those questions. Hopefully I answered all of them. Joshua. Hey, AJ, we're using OBS as a video switcher. We bring our camera in via HDMI capture card, then USB into the PC. How can we bring in multiple cameras into OBS? Rinse and repeat of what you just did, or get an ATEM that has multiple inputs, or you could have NDI and bring them over to your network. Me personally, I'm a fan of a direct connection. So when you start adding all these capture cards, sooner or later it's going to add up. So like right now, I used to always install the Decklink mini recorder 4K in the systems that I would build. That's $195. The base ATEM is $295 and gives you 4 inputs. It won't give you a multi-view, but at least you can pick. That's a good $100 investment just to get 4 more inputs. So that's the reason why I rarely, or even if I build a system for somebody, I don't have a capture card and I include the ATEM instead, the ATEM mini instead, because it's just easier to have more inputs that way. Chris, no, I have not. I heard about that, but no, I haven't used it directly. Bishop, what you could do, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing this because YouTube is weird sometimes. So let me do this and show you. If you were doing YouTube, this would be the same thing. I was saying if you did this on Twitch or Facebook or something like that. Let's cut over here. So obviously I'm here in the stream. Let me bring my camera up so you can see that I'm here. What you could do here is come to share, and then you have embed. This will give you the footage, the code. So if I copy this right now, and then what we're going to do is open up Notepad. Paste the code. Do my exit codes right there. And we're just going to call this, save as test.html. This is just to simulate if this is a web page. All right. So, all right, here it goes. Here's test that I just saved on my desktop. So if I open this up, there's my web page. And it's live. So that's what that code would do. You would just take this page and copy that code and put it on your website, and that's it. Now, the only issue is both of these have changed. Now, there is a way around YouTube to always point to your live. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But by doing this, boom, there you go. That's technically all you're doing. Facebook has the same thing. YouTube has the same thing. Twitch has the same thing. Restream used to give that to you for free, but I think that's behind a paywall now. But that's as simple as it takes to have your live stream put over there. Paul, let me see my screen here so I can see. With an Intel i7 with 12 gigabytes of memory, NVIDIA GeForce card, and multiple output work for live streaming. It will bring in audio from a Behringer mixture. I mean, technically, yes, I need to know exactly which i7, but i7 should be fine. And then it also depends on what NVIDIA graphics card, but technically it should. All right, we're coming in the home stretch, folks. Kevin, thank you for watching from Cape Town, South Africa. Thank you for stopping by. D would like to know, for Windows PC, any recommended splitter for 3 video outputs. Do you want those to be identical, or do you want them to be independent? Because no splitter is going to give you an independent video out. You would need to have 3 separate outputs from a computer to support that. And where did I put it? Oh, right here. If you really needed other outputs, this is the cheapest way you can go. A USB to HDMI. I mean, these are $12. But there is no splitter that will turn one output from your computer into 3 separate devices, if that's what you mean. Jackie, is Restream a platform that you can directly watch services on, like Vimeo? No, it's not. That, I mean, it is, but that was the part that let me rephrase. No, you can't go to Restream directly to watch. They used to offer code so that you can view your stuff. That's what we were saying with with Bishop Michael. They used to offer it so that you could have an embedded video window. I think they turned that off. So no, people can't go to Restream directly like Vimeo and do. Back to Anthony. Can you give me a recommendation for a good graphics card? I want to use it on my new system build. Well, it depends. What's your budget? And I'll when you follow back up with that, Anthony, that'll be my last question. I'm gonna go through these other ones, but answer that one back, and then once I get your answer, that'll be my last comment here. Zion Watch Baptist Church. Hi, AJ, can you connect a power amp to the X32 using the digital snake for non-powered speakers? Yes, because that's what I did at Advent Church. Yeah, I did that there. What I did is I had the speaker out coming from the digital snake going into the amp. And after I configured that out being an output, I had that go into the amp, and then the amp went out directly to the speakers. So I think that's what you were asking. Want to know, can Ecamm Live do the dual output? I don't know. I need to see if I can download another trial copy of Ecamm, because I think they went to a subscription, and I don't need to buy another subscription for nothing. But maybe I'll put it on my Mac and test it out. But I don't know off the top of my head. Back to Jackie. Do you have any part of your ministry automated? Lights. Haha, I wish we had lights. We need lights. Extra. If yes, what software do you use? Automated, the most automation that I have is I use a bunch of, just like I have here, I have a whole bunch of devices plugged into Wi-Fi powered surge protector, so I can turn everything on and off that are on schedules or on demand. That's the most automation that I have. I really want to add more, but the powers that be don't like that. Oh, Chuck, thank you for the follow-up. I knew it was a way. You just need the YouTube channel ID to always have the stream on your website. There you go. So the code is the same. You just need to have the stream ID. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so where did I put it? All right, so if I go back here to the desktop here, and we want to edit this. So the idea is, Chuck is saying if we come in here, oh, y'all can't see it. If we come in here and change this URL to our ID, channel ID, which is under settings, I'm not going to show you that because I'm not supposed to show y'all that for me. But you embed that stuff in here, you can change that. And then here's the size of your window as well too. So if I want to do, what number should I go with? I don't know. I can't remember what it is. But, something like that. You can change the size of your window as well too. So see, there's the size that's displayed. I like, and this is actually not in perspective because this number is off. But yeah, there's multiple ways that you could do it. But thank you, Chuck, for that, because I forgot. I need to play around with that and do that again. I think, honestly, I remember my early YouTube channel. I did a video on something like that, and then, I just leave that alone. That's why you're not following that channel. You're watching AJay the CEO. So I don't know. That's why I say this. Some stuff is funny. Early algorithm stuff has always been funny. Anthony, last question. Anthony, you said 200 maybe. Bruh, you ain't finding nothing at that price, unfortunately. That's why I was saying the graphics cards right now, that's why when I'm building systems, I'm normally using those embedded GPUs, kind of like what you've been using in your systems, because the market for GPUs are crazy out of control. So let's go ahead. I'm just show you here. If I look at desktop graphics cards, now I need y'all to prepare yourselves for this. Let me make it bigger so y'all can actually see. So this is the 6900 top of the line ones from AMD right now. And it says low price for 30 days. Low price. Yeah. No. Now, this isn't a bad deal, Anthony. If you could throw another, well, I mean, that's a low version, the 6500. It's okay, but I mean, that's somewhat of a reasonable price. Even though this card, I think it was supposed to be around like the 170, 180. So, I mean, that's not that bad. You start looking everywhere else, like prices are out of control on these graphics cards. Why is it only AMD? Like this is a 1050 Ti. I got this. Well, this isn't bad in their price. I still think that's overpriced. I mean, but this is like, what, 4 generations old if you ended up getting something like this. So, Anthony, if you were trying to look at something, you're going to at least have to throw in at least another 100 on top of that to get anything. Because like if I come in here and say I want my price to be up to 200, you're probably going to get 7 generation old stuff in here. Yeah, a 550. Like this is what I originally had at my church's stuff, but then I don't know this brand, so I don't trust that. And then you got like a GT 730 and GT 1030, which is out of stock. Like the 1030s don't have acceleration. The 730s don't have acceleration. So that's not going to help you with anything. The 550 is okay. It has more acceleration than the 1030. But, I mean, you ain't playing Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War on the PC on these cards. And you barely going to be doing any form of video editing. Yeah, so... yeah, these cards are out of control from a price standpoint. So you're not going to be able to find nothing like that anyway. But let me get ready to stand up, folks. I just want to thank all of my... come on now. Why is the button not working? Are you serious? My subscriber button is not working. So I was going to thank my subscribers. We got a bunch of new subscribers. Let me actually just read through them again, because the video that I made to play right before this started was working, and now it's not playing. So I don't know what's up with that. But hey, big shout out to, we've got a bunch of people who have subscribed and become members here. So on Patreon, is this Patreon? No, this is, yeah, I got it backwards. So for on YouTube, we got a few new members on here. We got Glenn C. Frazier Sr. Thank you so much for joining by clicking the join button down below. Become a YouTube member. We've had a bunch of people rejoin, which I really appreciate. Media Ministry rejoined, Lee Bennett rejoined, Ashbury United Methodist rejoined, A. Watson joined, Streets of Destiny rejoined. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then also on our Patreon, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 new folks who joined. I've shout a bunch of these out anyway, but I'm gonna do them again anyway. We got Stephen D. Bradworth, Pastor Mel, Simply C Media, Grace Thomas, Rob Williams, and Brian Bars. Thank you so much. Y'all too can become a member, a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. It's also used to being like down below, but the stuff is not playing. Or you can just click the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. Thank you so much, folks, for watching. If nobody's ever told you, thank you for all the hard work and constant study that you are doing to perfect your craft in media ministry. I really appreciate it. Whether you're watching me, whether you're watching Monty, whether you're watching Churchfront, whether you're watching Pro Church Tools, whatever person that you're watching, hey, I ain't in competition with nobody. If you get something from me and it helps you share the message with more people about the message of Jesus Christ, guess what? We all win. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Have a great day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you is, all over the face of the planet. And we will see you on the next video, folks. Later.